All right. Welcome to episode 17 of Kings of Opinion. I got Wander to my left, and Ernie is in the backstage. Say hello, everybody.
Welcome,
Hello.
welcome back, fam. It's been a minute. Hope you're doing well.
Excellent. We're coming to you from the Wandering Pug Studio, brought to you by Doshi Legal. And I'm going to get us started right now with a quick uh, rant. Well, not really a rant first. I guess you're wondering in between me and Wander, you see this little duck right here. It's a little trophy from Ocean City. We talked about it a couple weeks back. We had a trip to Ocean City. So Ernie was kind enough to take the Chug a Duck from MR Ducks that we bought him as a souvenir, and he made us a nice little Ocean City trophy for whoever wins every year down in Ocean City. So currently, I am the champ. I get to hold this for the next year until we go on our trip next year.
Congratulations.
I appreciate it. So you're going to see this on the show probably for the next couple of weeks until I find a good home for it. It's just going to sit right here. I'm very
In
proud
all
of that
its
trophy.
glory.
Yep. The fun fact is you could actually take the duck off and still chug from it. The champion next year will have to chug, at the very least, a beer out of that with a shot because that's the MR Ducks system down there. So
That's
we're going
the
to keep
standard.
that going, you know. But yeah, it was fun. I want to thank Ernie for making that and having the creativity. It's a really cool trophy. I hope not to give it up next year, but we'll see what happens. So yeah, any comments on the trophy besides me? Very fond of it.
Well, good luck defending your crown next year. But no, I think it looks great, Ernie. You did a hell of a job on this
Gonna
thing.
give a little love to the past champions, their names.
Oh yeah, you're right. So I don't know if you guys could see it here.
Previous
The three
winners.
last champions. So 2021 we had Gary Holmes. 2022 we had Paul Lim, and obviously I am the current champion. Yours truly, Bugs. So this will be here. Those guys got stiffed out of not getting to hold it, but hopefully they take that as a challenge to win it back next year. We'll see what happens.
A little motivation.
Yeah, like I want to be a two-time champ. I like being two-time champs. The only thing better than that is a three-peat. So
A
we'll
little
take it
something
one
for the
step at a time.
bulletin board.
Yeah, I like to be a champ a little bit of everything, So right now I'm the champ of Ocean City, so we'll take that into next year. Practice all year long. I got to now practice out of the sand, so that's going to be challenging. However, speaking of sand, the reason why we weren't on the show last week is one half of or 1/3 or 1/6 of the Kings of Opinions was on the beach at the Bahamas.
How was that?
It was dope, very relaxing. It was fantastic. I actually got to play a round of golf while I was down there. Super expensive, but I guess you could say it was worth it. We played at the Baha Mar, the Royal Blue golf course. It was probably the nicest golf course I've played on
Wow.
to date. The fairways were nice. The greens were gorgeous. The tee boxes barely had any divots in it. I mean, I guess you could say the reason why it's so nice is probably a lot of people don't play on it as
Right.
much as the
Yeah.
public courses. It's
Less
kind
wear
of
and tear.
yeah, it's kind of a private kind of course, but it was a crazy course. The first 9 holes was nothing but water and sand, and then the last 9 was a little bit of water, not much, but mostly just giant fairways and a lot of sand. So
How'd you shoot?
how'd I shoot? Terrible.
Oh.
Terrible. But could have been better. But I'm always terrible the first time I play a course. So that was, I guess you could say, par for the course for me. I shot a 120, but my buddy Paul shot a 116. So, it wasn't so bad. We did enjoy ourselves. If you guys checked out our Instagram, I have a couple of videos of the course there. Maybe I'll put some more pictures up there of the actual course itself. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was extremely hot.
Oh, I bet.
I'm so grateful that they gave us a towel and some water at least to get us through the day.
Gotta stay hydrated.
Yeah, I mean, it probably wasn't enough, but we didn't die on the course, so that's always a good thing. And I got to enjoy the rest of the trip, so that was cool. And yeah, and I did a little shark diving while I was down there.
What was that like?
Not as intense as the last time I did.
Were you in a cage?
No, no cage.
No cage.
No cage. Just right off the back of the boat. But there was a lot of us. There was like 20 or some odd people in the water with me, all on this rope. It was like a cheese line for the sharks, like if they wanted to get at you.
Buffet line, maybe?
Yeah, maybe a buffet line. Cheese, buffet line. It's all the same thing. You're going to get eaten. There's going to be one of you.
Things are getting eaten.
But to be fair, they said it's never happened down there. I mean, partially because the sharks you'll see down there are more docile. Like unless you mess with them, they're not gonna mess with you.
Right.
So you're not gonna poke at them or like
Right.
do any kind of
They
crazy
coexist.
movement.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably why they put you on that rope. So like you're all one, you all look like the same. It looks like you're just one big thing. So it's less, I guess, it's more intimidating to them than you being
One
intimidated by
solid
them.
mass.
Right. I mean, a couple years back when I went there, it was an entirely different story because they dropped a bait box down. Like you're in 50 feet of water per se. I think this time I was in a different area than the last time, but I guess it's all similar. But the first time they dropped a bait box in the water.
Yeah, chum in the water before you jump in there.
But they put it like 50 feet down, and then there's like a diver guy that goes down there, puts it down there, like chills down there, feeds them a little bit so that they congregate more down there. But they circle the bait box up almost to the boat. So like as you're on this rope with these people,
Yeah.
there's literally last time there was literally sharks all around us. There was like
that can be pretty terrifying.
for some reason it wasn't like
no, well, that's good.
there was one shark that one time where he like swam under my feet, gave me a little brush off my feet, which was kind of cool, I guess. And then he came back around and he was almost like he's like eyeballing you from the side and you're eyeballing him. And you could see like a hook hanging from his mouth with like a 6-foot line that he broke off of. So that was the only shark I was really like I kept my focus on.
Yeah.
But it was a Caribbean reef shark, and then there was nurse sharks. So they're not, like I said, they're not
your
really,
sharks.
What happened?
You know your sharks.
Yeah, they're not really aggressive, those kind of sharks, especially the nurse sharks. They stay down at the bottom of the water, so we didn't even really get to interact with them. But that was cool. This time it was only like 3 sharks that were there.
Right.
We did see a giant stingray that's like the size of like a dining room table.
Wow.
Well, not a big dining room, but like a 6-foot dining room table. Like that's what the stingray looked like, and that's like he was all around the ocean floor, so it's like 50 feet down. I could only imagine how big he was because from up at the top, he looked ginormous. And then there was big fish down there, other little sharks probably down there. It was kind of hard to tell because we were so far up. It was still cool. I still had my fun with it, but the first time was better. And I wanted to find out from the crew that these sharks, they're not as dumb as you think. Everyone says dolphins are the smart, like smartest in the fish in the water or whatever, a mammal. But sharks aren't dumb either. They were saying that someone wound up killing a shark there not too long ago.
Mm.
And when you do that, the sharks know now to stay away from that area. So they all disappeared for a while. And I was talking to the guys on the boat that were taking care of us, and I was like, yeah, last time I was here, it was probably like 6 years ago. There were like 30 or 40 sharks in the water when we were there. Now there was only 3. And he said for a while they had nothing. They were going on these trips to looking for them, and they couldn't because you go to 3 different spots. You snorkel in 2 for about a half hour, 40 minutes, and then the third stop is that shark experience. And they were going to those same spots, and there was no sharks around, no matter what they did. And then they just started coming back, and they said they're lucky if they get 10 to 12 on any given day. And this time we weren't as lucky; we only had 3. So yeah, it was a little disappointing, but for the price, it wasn't terrible. Yeah, that's pretty much just that and relaxing on the beach, getting a little tan. So it was pretty cool. So yeah,
How was the weather? You said it was hot, right?
Yeah, it was hot. A little. Well, it's like hurricane season there, so it rained in the morning. But when I say it rained, it's almost like a Florida rain. Not even that. Like it rained for like a half hour, and then the rest of the day, clouds just kept coming through. You might get a sprinkle, but for the most part, we got 1 rain in the morning, and that was it. The last day was the only day we got hit with some rain around noon. Other than that, it was all in the morning when you're having breakfast. By the time you get out of breakfast, sun's out, guns out, and you're in the pool or you're at the beach. So
nice.
It's pretty cool. Didn't do too much other than that. I did find a starfish though.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. I wasn't able to bring it back.
Yeah, I don't think it would have made the trip, to be honest.
No, it would have made the trip.
Yeah?
It would have made the trip.
All right.
Well, that should have been your rant for the day.
It's supposed to be coming. I'm waiting for someone else. Hey, what happened to the starfish, guys?
What happened with the starfish?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked, right? Thanks. I appreciate it. So, every day I made it a point to swim on the beach for like 20 to 30 minutes, like every couple hours to get some cardio in because I love the water and it's really the only time I get to swim.
Yeah, you're like Aquaman.
It's funny you should say that. I was called that while I was down there. But
Who
anyway,
would have thought?
yeah, we'll keep it moving. So I'm swimming, and as I'm swimming, I'm also like I have like the snorkel goggles on,
Right.
no snorkel, so I'm
Yeah.
like looking under the water for fish, whatever. And I see I named him Barry the Barracuda, and he's just chilling. He's floating. He's looking at me. He's got his eyes, his teeth out. I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna get too close.
Yeah, those are sharp.
Yeah, those guys, could pounce on a second, and there'd be nothing I could do but bite him back. And I don't know if I'd be able to do that.
He's pretty quick. I don't
Right,
know.
yeah. They got nibble and bounce. But so I'm just chilling. So then I swim away, and I happen to look down like a couple feet later, and I see a starfish, maybe about the size of my palm, right?
Right, standard.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I guess. I mean, I don't really would know, but it's very unlikely for you to see a starfish. Like you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, like you have to get lucky, like anything else. It's not like a seashell or something like that.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
Not that I was looking all week while I was there, but
Right.
normally you go to these places and you buy them for like $10, $20, depending on the size.
Right.
Because they go out to the ocean and they get the dead starfishes and they bring them back and they sell them to you.
Right.
I know that because I bought one many years ago. So,
Got you.
Whatever, they sucker me. So, like, I find it, I pull it out, I make sure it's dead, it doesn't move, and whatever I take it out of the water, it doesn't do anything. So I'm figuring it's dead, which it was. And some, lady that's, swimming by, nice old lady, she's like, oh man, so what'd you get? I was like, a starfish. I was all right, cool. She's like, I've never seen one like that. That's a pretty rare starfish. Meanwhile, the front was all red with like little, almost like, not like spikes that are gonna hurt you.
Right, I
like
know what you mean.
Yeah. And on the other side, the outer rim was all red, but everything else on the inside was all orange, like a bright sun orange.
Huh.
So I want to go finish my swim, and I think nothing of it. I go out a little bit to the beach, and I throw it out on the beach where I know it's going to be. I'm like praying that no one takes it. So I finish as I'm finishing.
Oh, that
my
thing
swim,
was gone when you came back.
Well, you're half right. So I'm coming back. I literally am about to get out of the ocean. I have like a minute left of my swim, and all of a sudden I'm looking up, and I see a guy and a girl, I guess a couple, and he throws something into the ocean. I wonder what that could have been. So I get out a minute later.
It was
I
the
go
star.
look for my starfish. My starfish is gone. I'm pissed because he didn't just throw it like leisurely
He tossed.
in there. Where I can find.
He
He like
tossed it.
tossed it past the ropes that they block off, so you can't. You're not supposed to go past. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because also there's like wave runners and boats going out there, so
Right.
whatever.
Right.
So I go up to him and I'm like, dude, what you throw in the water? And he side looks at me like he doesn't look at me straight on, and he's like, it was a rock. I'm like, a rock? I'm like, you sure it wasn't a red dead starfish? And he's like, no, it was a rock. Like still like not looking at me, how you're supposed to if you like telling the truth. Plus, there's no rocks.
He wouldn't make eye contact.
Right. There's no rocks really in the Bahamas. Well, you better off saying I threw a shell or something,
Yeah.
So I knew he threw the starfish. So I'm like, all right, cool. Like, you wanted to look cool in front of your girl. You thought it was a live starfish, throw it back in its home. Meanwhile, you don't even know that it was dead, whatever. And, now I'm out one starfish.
Misplaced machismo.
Yeah, like now I'm out one starfish, and, I might have fibbed a little bit. I said, my girlfriend likes starfishes, and I was going to bring it back to her. And now, because you want to look cool, she's out of starfish. And I just walked away. I said my piece, and I walked away.
And then it was done.
Yeah, it was done. Like, he wasn't going to talk to me after that. Like, he probably felt stupid as it was because that's why he wasn't looking at me in the eye because I know it wasn't a rock. Like, I caught you. Like, you got caught red-handed. It's like when you get caught robbing something, like, oh, that's not my jewels. That's not my money, But the thing that makes me mad is, like, not even the fact you threw it. Like, if you see something and it's not yours, why are you touching it?
Right.
Right?
Yeah, and you saw through him, and that probably, made him apprehensive.
Yeah, like even if he would have said, "Yeah, it was the starfish, my bad, bro," I would be like, "Okay, no problem,
right,
honest mistake."
Right.
But I still would have been pissed.
Right,
why
but he
did you
doubled
touch
down.
something?
He doubled down.
Like I would have rather you have taken it and given it to your girl than throw it back in the ocean. And then you could have lied and said it was a rock, and she has it the whole time under the chair, and they go home happy. Whatever, at least someone goes home happy.
Right.
Now if there's a dead starfish over there in the ocean, it's just chilling there, and
He probably thought it was still alive and wanted to throw it back in and save it.
Well, I'm pretty sure that's what he thought, or it was most likely the girlfriend. Like, oh my god, living starfish, throw it back in the ocean. And he's like, yeah,
That's
I'm gonna do
probably
that.
out. My money's on that. Yeah.
100% on that.
He's just like, duh, okay.
Yeah. Otherwise, he'd have just kept walking. Like, I don't give a damn. Like, so it was definitely hard. Like, oh my god, poor starfish. It needs water to survive.
So what's the lesson learned for next time?
Put it in my pocket.
There
Put it
you
in my
go.
pocket.
There you go. Would it fit in your pocket?
It would have, but it would have been like because it had like those little. It wasn't sharp like
Right. Jagged.
spikes or whatever, but it would have been slapping up against my leg and like like God knows.
Could have had an abrasion, yeah.
Yeah, God knows it would have irritated my leg, and I figured I have 5 minutes before I go out. Like, what's the chances?
Yeah.
And like you said when you first said it, you're like, oh, it was gone.
Yeah.
Technically, it was, but it wasn't because someone took it. Someone just decided to throw it back in the water.
Yeah.
Like,
so a little different. Yeah, slightly different. Yeah.
But yeah, so now I'm out one starfish.
Well, hopefully next time. I guess.
What are you gonna do, right? So
wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, so that wraps up the Bahamas. I guess that was the full blown rant. I didn't know we were gonna get to that, but I'm glad you guys asked me about starfish. It helped trigger a nice little memory of my trip.
I was gonna ask you about the food down there, but I remember it. Well, I mean, you don't really, you stick to kind of your things you like.
Right? Oh yeah, no, but I tried some different things down there.
What'd you have?
I had some oxtail down there, which was really good.
Okay, there we go. Look at you.
Yeah, they had a lot of variety down there every day. I'll tell you what, the buffet was the best part of the resort. I stayed at the Breezes, and it wasn't like the nicest hotel, I'm sorry to say, but it was perfect for what I was looking for.
Right.
And I really only
fit the bill.
A bed. You know what I mean? And I was going to be in the water most of the time.
Right, you're going to be outside.
The food was good. If you went to their restaurants, it was weird because like they'd have one restaurant open a night.
Yeah.
I guess they don't have a lot of people staying there, so one night you could get Italian, another night it was a steakhouse, another night it was like a sushi Chinese spot.
Yeah.
And we only tried the Italian because when we tried that, it was basically the food that you got at the buffet at the Italian place. Like normally you go to, and granted, you go to a really nice resort like the Rio or Atlantis, and they have like that kind of. Well,
did you go to Atlantis?
We did. We went there for a little bit. Paulie wanted to see it. He'd never been there, so we.
Oh yeah, it's nice. Yeah.
That place is gorgeous.
Yeah.
I don't even think they have a buffet there, but their restaurants, I'm sure, are amazing. And they're renovating their casino, which I thought was cool. Because it was last time I was there, it was kind of small. So I don't know if they're making it bigger or putting like bars into it because where we stayed, next to us is the Baha Mar, which is where we golfed.
Right.
But they also have like the resort there.
Okay.
And that place is like fairly new. Like I want to say it opened up in like 2013, 2015 time.
Okay.
So it may not even be 10 years old. But that casino / hotel almost looks like the Borgata.
Wow.
Like it's almost like the casino's almost like a spinning image of the Borgata.
Similar vibe, yeah.
Yeah, well, like, you know how you walk into the Borgata, they have a bar in the middle, and they have a bar on the sides, and they have the sports book. They got the players' room where you play, like, Texas Hold'em and all that. They had all that. And it was cool, and the sports book was big. You would sit there, play Joker poker, watch the games. Like, we were watching the Yankee games most night and just watching the games and gambling.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Is the Marriott Crystal Palace still there?
I don't even know, to be honest with you.
Oh, okay, yeah, that was a long time ago.
I mean, I'm sure it's still there.
Yeah, that was when I
was changed names.
That was when I was in college. I think I was drinking some Kolick beer too. Mm-hmm. Do they have that down there still?
I have no idea.
Okay, that's all right.
I didn't really drink beer while I was on there. I was either drinking like these crazy
punch, some kind of punch thing,
or scotch. And they had some like regular scotch that was there, by the way, at the resort. And I swear it was. I thought it was like their brand, but they got it from California, and it's like cheap scotch, but it's good. It's like better than Dewar's, like because I had Dewar's when I was down there. I'm not a fan of Dewar's, but their regular scotch.
Did you ask them what it was?
Yeah, well, it just literally says like scotch.
Wow.
And like I think it's like concierge scotch. Everything was like their basic stuff that they make all the drinks with was concierge rum, concierge scotch, concierge this, concierge that, whatever.
Oh, so you don't know what they put in that bottle, I guess.
No, like that's the bottle. Like they had it everywhere. Like and I asked them, I'm like, I thought it was like their like Bahamas like scotch, like their brand that they made there. But it winds up coming from California.
Maybe like
yeah, because the guy read the bottle. Like when I was at the piano bar one night, and he read the bottle to me. It's from California, so it wasn't that bad. Like to be honest, like I don't know how much a bottle would cost, but I don't think it'd be much. You know. unless they get a great deal on buying like cases and cases.
But maybe it's like the amount they buy.
But I still couldn't see how it would be that much. But anyway, back to the food. The food was great for the buffet. Like every day they had a bunch of different things. It was good. The breakfast was good. Lunch and dinner was usually good. We had one bad day when like the lunch wasn't really up to par because I just didn't like any of the food.
Gotcha.
But I'm sure if people like that kind of food, it was good. I don't even remember that day what it was. But
Right.
it was always like a chicken, a steak, a fish.
Nice.
You know, some kind of meat. They always like pulled different meats. I like oxtail one day, which was good.
Do you have any conch fritters while you were there?
No, Paulie did.
Oh yeah, I mean, I would assume that he would.
And concierge Scotch, $14.97.
Woo! Can we get it here in New York? Because I might buy it. That might be my go-to Scotch during the week. We might make a show brought to you by Concierge Scotch.
New sponsor.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so overall, it was a really good vacation. It was definitely
nice, man. I'm glad you enjoyed
got a little
yourself.
sun, good. You know, everything but the starfish worked out, so it was good.
The one that got away.
Yeah.
Or thrown back.
Right, the one that got thrown back. So, yeah, we have to go down there and have a good time another time. But I guess now we haven't really talked about sports.
Yeah, it's been a minute since we talked about sports.
3 weeks, right? So I feel like we should.
I don't think we talked about sports in our last episode, right?
No, we didn't. That's what I mean. So it's been like 3 weeks because we didn't have a show last week. The show before that was just all talking about Ashley, who I hope she's doing well, by the way. And,
shout out to Ashley.
Yep, and she'll be back on the show soon enough. But yeah, so no sports talk the last couple weeks. So let's just dive into the deep end of the pool, shall we?
Let's do it. I mean, Mets in complete free fall. What do you got on the Yanks?
Well, we'll start with the Mets first. So both New York teams aren't doing great right now. The Mets actually are doing worse. They got swept by the Orioles over the weekend.
In Kansas City before that.
Yeah. So I think they're at least on a 6-game losing streak.
Yeah, that's 6 right there. I mean,
and
that's.
We should have had. I wish we'd had a show last week because it was the trade deadline. So the Mets wound up throwing in.
Seem to be dealers.
The flag and our sellers, and they traded a bunch of guys away. So I'm trying to remember who the first one was. It was David Robertson to the Marlins, and that was when they raised the flag. That was not even last week. I think that was the week before.
I think that was prior. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the first move, and then they went and traded Scherzer to the Rangers, and then Mark Canha got dealt to the Brewers, I believe. Anyone?
Not sure.
Tommy Pham got traded somewhere else, and then I did
see Pham got traded.
Yeah, the last one was
pretty good.
Was Verlander back to Houston right as they were playing the New York Yankees. So then we'll skip across town real quick, and we'll just jump into the Yankees for a quick minute. We could jump back and forth between the two teams, but the Yankees during the trade deadline literally did nothing. So they were not buyers or sellers. I think they traded for one relief pitcher. Don't even remember his name. It's not even worth mentioning. But we needed a whole bunch of help, and they did nothing. And maybe it's because not many people are out there. Maybe they waited too long because there were people out there they could have traded for, and they just didn't. Maybe Cashman just was fed up with the way the team's playing and says, no matter what I do, they're going to suck. And I'm not giving them any help. So if you're going to make the playoffs, you're going to make it with this roster. And you guys either got to, come together and start to hit the ball, because ultimately the pitching really isn't the problem, even though our starting rotation has, gone down over and over and over again, and people just keep getting plugged in. And for the most part, the pitching hasn't been the problem. Like, do they mess up every once in a while? Like, Saravino has been an absolute disaster all year. Yes. We just got Nestor Cortez back, which was great. He pitched great over the weekend and got a win against Houston. Fantastic. Well, he didn't get the win, but we won the game, which was fantastic. Great. And then to close it out on Sunday, we could have won 3 out of 4, and Rodon's pitching, and he gets hurt, pulls his hammy, and you might not even see him the rest of the year. Who the hell knows? Because with pitchers and hamstrings, those are very delicate. You probably need at least 4 weeks, and he just got back and got his arm ramped up to pitch 100 pitches, and he has not been effective. So God knows what's going to happen with him. The bright spots for their starting rotation, is Cole. Obviously, he's a horse, and he just keeps going. And Clark Schmidt has been a surprise to me. After like April, he's been pitching great, so that's a good thing. We lost Herman to alcohol abuse. Like now he's going to be in rehab. Like that's
Do you think he was intoxicated during that?
Quite possible.
Feeling a little loosey goosey.
So supposedly what happened was he was supposed to start that game. Now originally we all thought that was around the trade deadline. So maybe they had like a trade in the works and they didn't start him and they started somebody else. I think it was Brito for 4 innings.
Yeah.
And then he comes into the game. So at the end of the game, everyone's thinking, okay, like he was going to get traded. That's why they didn't start him. So there was a trade in the work, and then it got pulled back, and then they said, screw it. He'll come into the second part of the game. And he pitched 5 shutout innings. And then apparently, I don't know if this was before the game or after the game. I don't really remember. But apparently he went like not crazy, but like he was like disturbed in the locker room. And not there was no altercations with anyone, but apparently he was going wild.
Right. Maybe a mood swing.
And
perhaps.
They said he was drinking. They said he was intoxicated, and now he's going to seek help. So he's going to rehab for alcohol.
At least he's addressing the problem. I guess.
Yeah, well,
right?
the Yankees are helping him with that, of course, but he's done for the season now because I think he's going to spend at least 30 days there. By the time he comes back, I don't think I think that's it for him for the year. I don't think he's coming back.
It's already ruled out. He's out for the year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So
that's a big blow. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was, it's funny. Like with that guy, he's been so up and down this year. He got suspended for sticky stuff. Then the game before he pitched his perfect game, he gives up 10 runs in like 2 innings or 3 innings, whatever it was. And then he pitches a perfect game.
Can't be the light without the dark, right?
Right. Well, there's only one light. It was the perfect game. And then this happens. So, like, he's had a crazy year. And I don't know if he's a free agent next year. I don't know what his deal is, but I don't know if he's coming back to the Yankees next year. I don't see how it's possible. But at one point or another, the starting rotation has been up and down with injuries. I mean, I guess that's the whole team.
Yeah.
To be honest with you,
story of the season.
Yeah, we've had the second most games missed in all of baseball to injuries. The only other team that has more is the Dodgers. So, and they're in first place, so they've lucked out. But to be fair, all their injuries are on their pitching staff, which is why they went out to the trade deadline and got pitchers.
Who'd they get?
I don't remember. To be fair, it's a week ago, but they addressed their needs. Like all their guys on their batting order for the most part have been relatively healthy. They might have lost one guy in the beginning of the season. I forget the shortstop's name.
For who?
For the Dodgers. I forget the job because they were looking for either a second baseman or a shortstop.
Trey Turner?
No, he's on the Phillies now.
Oh, right.
Actually, I just saw something the other night. The Dodgers, when we were watching the game, I believe, said other than the Yankees, the Dodgers are the only team with more days on the IL on their roster in Major League Baseball. But like we talked about, fortunately for them, the main characters in the lineup have all been healthy. They haven't really been affected by that.
I have a question for you, Ernie. When you're sitting there doing what you're doing, are you listening to what I'm talking about? Because I literally said that 30 seconds ago. Good to know. Well, if anyone missed it when I said it, hopefully you got it when Ernie said it. Busted balls. Anyway, so yeah, Ernie speaks the truth. They're the only other team, but fortunately for them, they're in first place. We are not. Thankfully, the Toronto Blue Jays beat the hell out of the Red Sox over the weekend, so we're not in the cellar basement of the AL East anymore. But that's not really saying much because we didn't do much over the week to get any better. In our last 10 games, we're only 4-6 against top-notch teams. So, it's not going to really get much better unless they start hitting because their pitching is keeping them in ball games, and their lineup is just atrocious. Yesterday, I was watching the game. I was sitting over here in the studio and doing some research, and I'm watching the game, and it was a weird game. So the Astros scored 9 runs on basically 4 home runs, and 2 3-run home runs from one guy, Myers, for the Astros, and then another home run from Tucker, I think it was, and somebody else. I can't remember. But that's how they scored their 9 runs. And the Yankees scored 7 runs on just one home run and a bunch of hits, but they left 15 guys on base.
Yeah.
And everyone but Bader couldn't hit with guys in scoring position with less than 2 outs. Bader got up twice with the bases loaded, 2 hits. And then when you think you're like, I get it why you wouldn't send guys, especially certain people, but you have certain guys like you got to put pressure on these good teams to make the throw. Send the guy. Like these guys should be hustling. Like if you're getting the third on a base hit, like I know when I used to play baseball, when I play softball right now, I could judge a ball where it looks like unless they make a fantastic play, that it's just going to dunk in for a hit. So if you see that, you should be on your horse getting to third base and making that turn, that deep turn, so that if they're just coming up with the ball, you take that chance home and you put the pressure on them. Almost 9 times out of 10, they're not going to make a perfect throw, and you're going to be safe. But besides all that, right? There was less than 2 outs, and Stanton and a couple other people, like Stanton is like 6'4", 260 pounds, and he hits a lazy, shallow fly ball to right center, and we couldn't score a sacrifice fly from third base.
It's almost like they're playing not to lose rather than playing to win. You
know? But they were losing. I get what you're saying.
But I mean, but yeah, because of the way the season's going and everything, they're trying not to make that mistake that's going to cost them a game.
No, I get it, but at the same time, be aggressive, because if you're not hitting home runs, if you're not getting clutch base hits, you got to play small ball, right? So Stanton swung on a weird pitch, and I guess he got jammed. I don't even remember, but it was a lazy fly ball, shallow to right field. You're a big guy. We've seen him check swing the ball to the warning track. What is going on? Like, be more selective. Like, I know he's one of those guys that are feast or famine, meaning like he's going to really suck or he's going to be really good and carry the team. But he hasn't really carried the team at all this year. And Judge just came back, and he's in a little bit of a slump, and rightfully so, because he's probably still hurt, and he's playing through it because our team sucks. They can't hit. So what are we going to do? You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's trying times in the Bronx for sure.
Yeah, and normally you'd like to feast on your own division, but right now the Yankees haven't done it. They're 15-21 against the AL East, which is why they're close to the basement and only, I think, 3 games over 500 or 4 games over 500. You know, and they weren't even beating the bad teams. They couldn't really beat the Rockies. They couldn't beat the Angels. They did beat the Kansas City Royals, but then they played someone crappy after that, and they couldn't beat them either. It's like such an up and down season. I don't know.
It does seem like, though, everybody's coming back to the pack a little bit. Nobody's really running away with things.
No, you're right, but they definitely need to have like a good 10-game stretch where they go like 8-2 to get back into it. You know,
and a couple of those.
Yeah,
you know,
I don't think they have many left. Like there should be only like 40-something games left.
Yeah,
44, 45.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, there can't be much left. So they're at 111 games right now. 112. So yeah, there's 40 games left, right? Or 50. So you'd have to have at least 2 of them, I would think. But I don't know if they have it in them. You know, Baltimore's 3 games over Tampa right now. They've been super hot. They got 70 wins. They're tied with Atlanta. That's how good they are. So it looks like they might win the AL East. I mean, they still have a lot of games left, I'm sure, with the AL East teams. I don't know if they have any more left with the Yankees, but I'm sure the other teams. But I don't know, man. The wild card is looking thin too. Right now, they're 4.5 back. They're 2 games behind Seattle, and they're not even in the playoffs. And they're 4.5 back from Toronto, and 5 from Houston. So not looking good for them either. And then today we find out the Mets dropped Brett Beatty down to the minors.
Yeah, yes, I did see that. Yeah,
that was a little surprising.
Yeah, I thought so too. But apparently, some of like the guys on the radio think it's a good idea.
I mean, at this point, the season's lost, and young guys, they need their, at bats, they need some seasoning, But I guess it's a matter of weighing, the pluses versus the minuses, and it's hard to see that there's many minuses. A guy like that up at this point for the rest of the year.
Yeah, might as well
It
see
can't
what
get
you
much
got, right?
worse.
Yeah, I guess I'm from the uh, thought that let him work through his struggles up here, especially
Right.
since he's been up here the whole year.
Right.
But I guess they thinking he could go down there and work on his craft a little bit more, and then try it again next year. But the problem is he's only really going down there for August because the minor league system ends at the end of August. And then what are you going to do? Not have him play? No, you're going to bring him up to in September for the major leagues anyway. So what are you thinking? He's in like 3 weeks. He's going to like not turn it around, but work on whatever he has to work on, and then come up here and be like a lot better.
I mean, I guess it's always possible, but I mean, it just
unlikely.
Like it makes much sense.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And to me, the way you get better is by playing against better competition, right? So yeah, he might look lost, and like if you look at his statistics, they're really, really bad, and I get it. But I almost rather be really, really bad in the major leagues, but have like the coaches there that really know the game better. Not to say that the minor league guys don't; they have a ton of experience too. But obviously, if they were really good at what they were doing, they'd be in the major league somewhere. So,
especially if he's in your plans for next season and the future, you know,
right? Because we could have that same attitude with Volpe. Volpe's not hitting the cover off the ball, but you're leaving him up here to fight through it. And at times he does. Like, he might not have big spurts of production, but he might go on a 3-game tear and then, like, hit bad for a month, not a month, but like a week, and then a couple games here and there. But he shows, even over the weekend, like, he helped us win one of those games against Houston with a clutch sacrifice fly. I know it doesn't see much, but when gets back to the dugout and gets the high fives, and then after the game he's talking about it. Like, it gives you a certain level of confidence, which you're not going to really get that in the minors, because what are you really playing for in the minors?
Right.
I know they have their own championships and all that stuff, but you're not. It's not the same. It can't be. Like, you want to be up in the majors, you want to feel like you belong. This got to be somewhat of a hit to his to maybe he doesn't have an ego, but still to his pride. Either which way you look at it,
definitely.
To his confidence too.
Yeah. You have to.
Oh, look, they got the South Sides on.
They do. The Yankee White Sox game is about to get started, and the White Sox are wearing their, what do we call them again?
The Death Row jerseys.
City Connect jerseys. So it says South Side. So I wanted to bring a question to you guys too. What do you think about these uniform patches, especially on the New York Yankees? There's a few teams that have them. Like, they can now, it's almost like basketball.
Sponsors?
They can have, I don't even know if they're sponsors. They're just advertising on the uniforms
now.
It's
a sponsor.
It's definitely a sponsor. They're paying for that space, but when it comes to the Yankees,
they usually
more about tradition.
Traditional,
right? You can expect that with everybody else, but I guess when it comes to making that money, they're gonna. Be on board just like anybody else.
I wonder where that started. If it was like the soccer jerseys, maybe. I'm not sure.
Oh, I'm sure the soccer jersey has a ton of them.
Yeah, soccer's had it forever, right?
Yeah,
soccer,
feels that way.
They can't. They probably can't pay for their team if they didn't have the sponsors. But I don't like it on the Yankees. And you know what? If you told me, so the Yankees have their patches, Star Insurance. I don't even know what that is. Like, is that a car insurance, house insurance? Like, what is that? Anyway,
it's just been so ingrained with tradition when it comes to the Yankees.
Yeah.
For us, it's tough pill to swallow.
It's disgusting. And it wasn't like for $1 billion, by the way. It was for $25 million. Like, are the Yankees hurting for money that much that they need $25 million for what?
Well, it's just, I think also too, it's just the nature of the beast. Corporations run everything, so they can, penetrate places that you wouldn't think they could.
Is that what they're paying for the season for that patch?
Yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a fact, as a matter of fact. But yeah, $25 million. Like, do you really need $25 million? Like, is that paying for Josh Donaldson's contract this year? And
I guess that's the way to look at it, right? If it pays for a contract, that's one less contract you're paying out of pocket.
Right, but we're still us as the consumers are still paying through the roof for hot dogs and beer. Like, come on. Give us a discount then if you're going to put a patch on the uniform, right?
Yeah, that'd be nice.
$25 million per year to get the space on the Yankees jersey.
I think next year I want to see them put like a patch on the leg now. Like put it on someone's like thigh. You know, if you're gonna get ridiculous, why not?
Says reports say that the other offers were higher, but Yankees were concerned about fit, and the price will vary depending on the market.
So each team probably gets a different price, is what you're saying.
Right. I guess it depends on the size and all that stuff.
So
They went with what I guess was, as small as possible and not overpowering.
So can you tell me what Star Insurance is? And is it even in New York? Or is that something that's like in the Midwest?
Well, that would be a little.
I'm just saying, like.
I'd imagine it's a national company.
Who knows? That's why I'm asking. Maybe the people out there want to know.
Possibly.
I don't know what Star Insurance is. Well, I know that they're insurance, but what?
Leading insurance and investment organization providing commercial property and casualty insurance, including travel and accidents.
You know what? After the show, I might need car insurance, so maybe we could get a discount on that.
Right.
You know,
get them on the horn.
You know, I mean, we plugged them 4 times already, so maybe
And they are headquartered in New York City.
Oh, okay. At least
stop by maybe.
Yeah, maybe I'll stop by. Like, hey guys, check out this show. Listen, I'll wear a patch on my chest if you could get me cheap insurance for my car. You know, I'll put it anywhere you want. You want me to wear it on my forehead? I'll wear it on my forehead. Yeah. Anyway, that's what I wanted to bring up. So let's see what else we got. I'm gonna leave that for another day. Oh, did you guys see the fight? What was it yesterday between Anderson and Ramirez?
Yeah, I saw the right that landed. I guess that was pretty much the end of it.
Do you know how it started though? I don't know how.
No,
it
I don't. I do not.
Ramirez slid into second, and I guess he did not like the way the tag was put on. Anderson and his usual shenanigans came up fist ready to go.
Yeah, I heard he squared up to him.
Yeah,
I saw the video. He
right off the bat.
He went like this, and then Ramirez comes at him, and it was a brief scuffle. Yeah, a couple.
One connected, and
you're right.
Knocked him on his ass.
But it wasn't even like a real haymaker by Ramirez. The way it looks is like it was almost like half a slap punch because he didn't come across with the knuckles. He came across with like the bottom of the.
Like a hammer fist.
Yeah, exactly like a hammer fist, and went like this, but caught him like right on the jaw.
Yeah, he caught him.
And Tim Anderson went down like he got shot, like there was a sniper in the outfield there. Oh, down!
And then came up talking more crap than he was before he got knocked.
Right. It's like down goes Frazier. So it was Anderson.
So when you watch the videos online of it, the Cleveland telecast and announcers, the call was really something else. You really felt like you were watching a boxing match.
Really?
Yeah, it was really good. It was kind of good.
So the announcers that were doing the game started to call the fight?
Yeah, it wasn't like he was calling the fight, but just his play-by-play was like you were watching a box. It was really good.
Really?
You have to look it up. It was.
And that's was that Chicago? So you'd have to look up the Chicago.
The Cleveland.
Oh, so it was in Cleveland. You got to look up the
Oh,
Cleveland.
I don't know where the game was, but they played. You can hear both. But the Cleveland one was
much better.
Yeah, really good.
All right, so we got to check that out. I'll check it out after the show. But yeah, that was pretty funny. That was over the weekend too. Other news that I really didn't know about until today. Did you guys see the fight on the dock in Alabama?
Yeah, that was awesome.
No.
Look it up right now. Alabama dock fight.
That was the.
Tell us about it.
Well, I'll just say the hat flip, or the sending out the signal. That was like putting up the bat signal because it worked, and the other side started it, but they didn't really handle what happened very well.
What happened after?
They lost.
To who?
The one guy was getting the initial guy. I don't know if he was working there or whatever, but they surrounded him. They started hitting him, and that's when he threw up the hat. And then some people saw the call or the beacon, and they went there and assisted him.
Oh, so that's what you think it was when he threw up the hat? It was for like help or whatever.
Yeah,
so
well, it worked.
Because that guy was a security guard.
Yeah.
So I guess there's other security guards in the area, and
or people that he knew.
Yeah.
Whatever, for whatever reason that he did that, it was a wise choice.
Right. So from what I got from it was like there was a group of people that parked in the wrong dock slip. And he was telling them to move the boat because
they looked like some Chads for sure.
Yeah, and he told them to move the boat, and they refused. He's like, "No, there's another boat that has to park there. You have to move." And then that's when the fight broke out, and then that's when he throws the hat up. And there was a guy on a boat that, as they're filming, the boat's moving and seeing all this fight on the dock, and as they're moving, so whoever's filming it. Some guy from that boat who's
swam in.
They were calling him Aquaman.
Dedication, right there.
And he has a whole bunch of nicknames.
I mean, you can relate, right?
Yeah, of course. And it's so funny. He gets up, and then there's a whole brawl on this dock, and
chairs are getting people getting hit with chairs.
People throwing bottles from that same boat that's videotaping it, and they're not making it to the dock, so it's just going in the water, which is a shame because like if they had better arms. That would have made to like a crazier melee because no one would have known where those bottles are coming from, so it would have been even crazier.
It was funny too because the instigators' friends towards the end there they just started walking away, but it's like oh no, that walking away time is over.
Right
now
like,
it's time. Now it's time for consequences.
Yeah. It's go time. Get back here, and they were dragging them back, and they were like fighting these dudes. It was crazy, and then they were outnumbered. At first, they like beat up the security guard.
Yeah, then
it
changed
or something like that, and then it like within seconds, it's not a minute.
Of events.
It totally changed, and now they're the ones getting beat up, and then they're trying to get away. Like no, player. And then some girl gets thrown in the water.
Yeah,
she gets hit. Like these guys were hitting everybody and anybody that came here. Like if you weren't one of their guys, you're getting knocked somewhere. Yeah. Whether it be the water, the ground, thrown in the water. It was some sight to see. It was like a WWE Royal Rumble. Like if you get thrown in the water, you're eliminated.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen. Hopefully, lesson learned. You don't start nothing, there won't be nothing.
I think the only thing we missed is like there's an upper dock. Like someone needed to be like Jimmy Snuka and
drop maybe an elbow
and, elbow somebody into the water, or like literally tackle somebody into the water.
Right,
like,
that definitely could have added to the excitement.
Yeah, we missed some high flying acrobats. Like I would have liked that a lot. But other than that, you got to see a little bit of everything from like wrestling. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, we might have missed a people's elbow or a DDT or something like that, but it was straight up melee.
Definitely shades of WWE.
100%. It was something. This world is getting crazy right now with all these fights.
Definitely some booze involved.
Oh yeah.
Oh, of course. Did you see the video?
Yeah, I'm trying to watch it. I guess everybody's trying to watch it.
It's breaking the internet right now.
Yeah, that was like the one crazy thing that pretty much happened over the weekend. Well, there was something that happened here in New York.
What's
in Union Square. Did you see that?
No.
So there was like some, I guess, maybe YouTube influencer.
Oh, with the PlayStation, yes.
Not with PlayStation, but gift cards. So
yeah, that is like just you should be charged for that. I think.
Well, that's the funny thing. He was charged.
Good.
But he was let out with a desk appearance ticket, which pretty much.
Dude, you're endangering lives with that nonsense.
Well, there's one guy pummeling on a woman.
Yeah, is that the one that goes in the water?
I didn't see that.
I don't know.
Beating the piss out of her.
Yeah, it was wild. So it was also wild in Union Square with this whole thing. It was PlayStation and gift cards, and this guy has his own posse, and they're driving around, and then it was almost like a mini riot. There was like a couple thousand people in Union Square, and I don't even know if he gave out anything, but he's on YouTube or whatever he's on, and there's so many people, and people throwing bottles at the police and clogging stuff up. There was like a bunch of people arrested. He was arrested for inciting a riot, but he was let out right from the precinct, which it doesn't make sense to me. Like, something like that happens, and I don't know who dropped the ball on what or this, that, and the other, but first off, there should be no giveaways without you letting people know.
Right.
Like, something.
You got it. Yeah, you got to put it through the proper channels and authorities.
Permitted.
Right. so that at least the city knows, so that we could,
Prepare.
prepare for like some kind of crazy nonsense that might be happening. But that happened on Friday, and that was wild too. There's videos out there of all the crazy stuff that happened there. But oof, it was. I guess it was a crazy weekend. You had fights everywhere.
Yeah.
New York, Cleveland, Alabama.
Things are heating up.
It was wild, and it's not. We're at the. I don't want to say we're at the midpoint of summer, but I guess we're at the tail end of the summer, sort of.
Yeah.
We're getting there. So
Humidity's gotten to everybody.
yeah, it's kind of crazy, kind of wild. But what are you gonna do? So what else we got? We got any movies and TV shows that we saw? I know you saw Oppenheimer, right?
Yeah, we talked about that last time.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, because I saw it over the weekend.
What'd you think?
I thought it was good. I'll be completely fair with you.
Yeah.
I was dozing in and out of the first hour and a half.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
It's not my fault.
Right.
But it's partially my fault.
Okay.
But whatever. So I'm going to the movies. I'm running a little late.
Right.
I get there,
Mm-hmm.
and there's like 100 to 200 people outside of Roosevelt Field. I'm like, this is weird. I'm like, is this all for the movie? So I walk up there, and I'm like, yo, what's going on, guys? And they're like, oh, someone pulled the fire alarm, so everyone had to come out of the everyone had to come out of the theater. So I'm like, okay. I'm like, it
You
was
had to wait.
9:30 when I got there. My movie was
Uh,
9:15, so I'm like, oh, this is actually great. I didn't miss any of the movie because I thought I was gonna miss some of it, even though with the previews, like depending on like the movie, sometimes it's 15 minutes, 20, 25 minutes.
It's too long, is
yeah,
what it is.
it's too long. Like you should have 3, 4 tops, 10 to 12 minutes. That's it, and there should even be short trailers. Like they should be no more than 2 minutes.
Right, and stop showing us the whole damn film.
Right, like you're basically showing. I might as well watch the movie while I'm there. Remind me of a double feature. But anyway, so I get there late. Whatever. We finally get in there. I get to the seat, and the movie starts up, and it's still in the preview. So I'm like, I'm gonna go get some popcorn. I'm gonna get some popcorn. Come back to the seats. It starts, but then they have like the commercial with Nicole Kidman, and she talks for 2 minutes, and then they have get your concession stand stuff, popcorn and a soda. So now it's like 10:05, 10:10. The movie's like an hour delayed. I'm exhausted because me and Ernie were at the Kelly's house for the pool party. Which shout out to Steve Kelly and Linda Kelly for the awesome pool party and the great food. It was a great time. That's where I got this bad boy. Just saying. Anyway, moving back to the movie. And the movie finally starts. Now, I don't know if you guys noticed, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe it just was off, but when you pull the fire alarm, it shuts down everything. So the theater went from, I guess, whatever kind of degrees it was to sauna hot.
Oh, no.
And I'm, like, I don't know if that's the movie that you want sauna hot.
And it was hot Saturday.
Right. It was damn hot and humid on Saturday. So, like, the first hour and a half, I'm dying. And remember, you're in reclining chairs, which is great. You're leaning back. It's great. But they're leather or pleather or whatever. So I'm like sticking to the chairs. And I run hot as normal anyway.
Right.
And, I was super uncomfortable. So now you got popcorn. You got the hot seats. You got the hot theater. And it's late at night. It's like, 10 o'clock. And I'm like, dozing in and out because it's so hot. It's almost like when the hotter it is, the more droggy you get and the more you want to fall asleep.
Yeah,
that's what it was for me for the first time. So I was struggling.
I would have slept the whole movie.
Oh, you would have slept like a baby. But I really wanted to see this movie because I heard it was really good, and like it's a true story, and like I tend to like the true stories. Like most people that know me know I like my superhero movies, my action movies, my comedies.
Yeah, you like history too.
Yeah, but I like dabble in these things because it's interesting to know about history and whatnot. And I'll be honest with you, I'm sitting here right now, and I couldn't tell you what the first hour and a half was about. I was in, not that I ever fell asleep fully, but like I was catching myself like nodding.
Yeah.
So
I tell you what, I might have like when I recline, like there's a good chance I might fall asleep.
Yeah.
So I can only like raise it up like a little bit,
like just the legs up,
Yeah.
like kind of like how Ernie is right now.
Yeah.
He's got like the reclined legs, but he's still sitting.
But it's
like
easy to
almost
fall
90
asleep
grand.
in those things.
Yeah, I mean, I'm used to those chairs now because I go to the movies a lot. So I don't mind laying back a little bit. as long as it's cold, I'm good for the most
Yeah,
part.
if it's hot,
Right,
you're,
right.
You
you're
know,
gonna be
even at a late
uncomfortable.
movie, like I've been to movies that start at 10 that are 2 hours and I get out at midnight. I'm good.
Yeah.
But it was so hot in there.
Oh,
And
that's
at one point, I'm
gross.
like, I gotta go downstairs
Yeah, that
and
just
complain.
adds to it.
Yeah, and it just adds to it. So I left for like 2 minutes. I was like, let me go to the bathroom. I went to the bathroom,
Right.
like
Cool
an
off.
hour in. And outside it was a little cooler because I guess it's not a big of an area, especially in the bathroom, it's smaller. So I'm chilling in there. I was like, I wet my hair, and then I went back in. And then, like, literally around right before they dropped the bomb, that's when the AC started to kick on. So then, thankfully, it started to get cooler. And then I enjoyed the rest of the end of the movie. I thought it was. Do you remember the movie?
Yeah.
What did you think of like the last hour, like when they're like not interrogating him, but they didn't put him in front of like a court. I didn't have
Right.
this big
Yeah,
he's
being railroaded.
Yeah, he was
kind of.
being railroaded, and they put him in like this little room with like 4 or 5 people questioning him and other people, and like
Yeah.
they wanted to blame him
Yeah.
for everything. But like, and correct me if I'm wrong, from what I took of it, like they were trying to blame him for dropping the bomb. Meanwhile, he told everyone not to drop the bomb. Like,
Literally.
yeah, he created the bomb for just the overall threat, like if,
Right.
you know, to end the war.
Exactly.
And then the powers that be said, no, we're just going to drop it because, you know, and rightfully so. Japan back then was like, you know, we don't give up. We'll die for our cause. And I guess, you know, ultimately they were right. You know, there's documentaries on it where people say like, you know, even after they dropped the 2 bombs, they almost still didn't want to surrender. But the emperor realized if we don't, there's going to be no Japan left.
Right.
So,
and I guess once I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
You know, once it's created, I guess it's just a matter of time, right?
Right. And then it gets crazier from there because then they make it better and better and better and more dangerous and whatnot. So, yeah, that's the only movie I saw. I heard from a bunch of people that Barbie movie just made $1 billion this weekend is crazy.
Really?
Yeah, like I don't know if it's good or not. People like depending on who you are or whatever. Like a lot of people like it.
Well, it's polarizing, I guess, if everyone's watching it.
Yeah, they made $1 billion in 2 weeks, I think, right?
Which is ridiculous.
Worldwide, which is ridiculous. There's not too many
A lot of
movies
Barbie
that can say
fans.
that. Yeah, and
The
this,
brand
I mean,
is strong.
It's a good cast. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know if I'd go see that in the movie theaters. You know,
It does make me want to watch because I guess they also made recently, right around the same time, I guess a documentary on the woman who created
Inspired.
Barbie.
Oh, really?
And supposedly that's a pretty interesting story.
Oh, I'm sure it is. I'm definitely sure it is. You know, and then the Meg came out this past weekend, which wound up making a decent amount of money. I don't know the number, but whatever Oppenheimer made, it made more than that. Its opening weekend, which
Really?
I guess is good because you know I like sharks, so I'm
Yeah.
gonna go check out the Meg 2 hopefully this weekend, and I'll report
Fins
back
up.
next week. Yeah, little Donna kind of thing, you know, Jaws. But yeah, that's it. That's all I got for really movies right now. We're still waiting for some other stuff to come out, but hopefully. Did you watch Mission Impossible yet?
No, I haven't.
I'd love to talk to you about that. But all right, go ahead. So what do we got for TV show wise?
Let's see. What have I been watching? I did see another episode of Black Mirror. I think it was the second one.
Mm-hmm.
It was really good. I really enjoyed it. It's very dark. So I highly recommend that. And the other thing that I watched was, have you ever seen How To with John Wilson on HBO?
No.
It's a different show, but it's kind of like low budget, but it takes place, all around the city, and I just find it very interesting. So the second season premiered a couple of weeks ago, and yeah, so I think it's like 2 episodes in so far. So yeah, definitely check that out. Yeah, it's pretty good.
All right, dope. I mean, I'm gonna try and watch the last season of Jack Ryan this week, so hopefully I can report back on that. And the second part of The Witcher just came out last week that I didn't even realize on the 27th of July. So I'm gonna catch up with that. I love that show. That show is really good.
When did that come out?
Well, the first part came out in like the beginning of July.
Uh-huh.
The second part just came out I want to say last week,
Oh, word.
July 27th, whenever that was. I think it was like that end of the last week or right when I was away.
Very cool.
So there's only 3 episodes, so
Nice.
it's a quick little thing. So hopefully I get to watch all that by next week, and I could give you my take on those. Other than that, do you have any music that you want to
Yeah,
shout
but
out?
I just wanted to ask too. Did
Sure.
you finish Secret Invasion?
I did.
What'd you think?
Oh,
Kind of anticlimactic, right?
yeah. Did you watch the whole thing?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna tell you right now, like
Yeah.
it wasn't the best show,
Yeah.
but Marvel's kind of fallen off recently.
Mhm.
This last like phase and a couple of last TV shows.
Yeah.
I did, however, like how they spun the super
Scroll.
scroll.
Yeah.
I guess they couldn't wait for it to be comic accurate for wait till Fantastic Four to come out.
Okay.
So they did some wild, crazy thing and gave them like almost like Superman like powers. Like
Right.
they have like 10 to 12 different powers in them.
Yeah.
Because they had like a whole list. If you watch anything on TikTok or read anything, they had a whole list of all these superheroes' DNAs.
Oh, I see.
When you see that
For the
fight
super
scene,
soldier.
yeah, like there was like at least 10 people that I could count that they had their powers. Like you had Ghost, Drax, Groot, Captain Marvel.
To name a few.
Yeah, just to name a few. There's a whole bunch of them. Hulk. Um, I don't know. There's a bunch. And you can see it on the computer if you slow it down.
Yeah.
When that main villain, I forget what his name was.
Right. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, but whatever his name was, he's like on the computer. There's like a list of like 18 people that they have DNAs for, and they're all super proud. They all have like they're all in the Super Scroll.
Right.
So they could. There's the 2 guys that were for Thanos, Obsidian, and the other guy that moves stuff with his mind or whatever.
Yeah.
She had those powers too. It was crazy.
Yeah.
So,
no, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, I'm just saying that fight scene was crazy, which was cool. But other than that, it was like whatever.
Yeah, I liked the show overall. I thought it was good. I liked the formula, but yeah, just the ending was kind of anticlimactic for me. It's kind of like what I thought was going to happen. No real surprises. It was still cool, enjoyable.
Right.
Just I don't know. Maybe I'm not really sure. Maybe I was looking for more in the end of it, but it was decent.
So there were people on TikTok real quick that were picking apart that show.
Okay.
And
as the internet loves to do.
Right, but it actually brings up an interesting question. So, Colonel Rhodes, right? He was a Skrull.
Right.
So he was kept in like captivity for a while, and like whatever kind of like mind
that thing, yeah,
mind control mess that they were in.
Yeah.
So when he comes out of that, he's wearing a gown, right?
Okay.
So the word on the street is that he was captured after Civil War when he was paralyzed.
Oh.
So the funny thing about all that is if that's true, and he comes out of it now, he doesn't even know that Tony Stark is dead.
Wow, I never even thought of that.
Which is kind of crazy, right?
Yeah. Interesting.
So we'll see where that goes with that. But other than that, I got nothing else. You got your music?
Yeah, I'll fire off 3 music picks for the week. First, we're going to go with Nicholas Craven and Ransom, Deleted Scenes 2. Second, we've got King Cruel's new album, Space Heavy. And third, we've got House of Disorder by Steel Tip Dove and Nosage from New Kingdom. So those are the 3 music selections.
I'm sure those are all good picks.
Thank you.
And hopefully everyone listens to that stuff, listens to this show, checks out some of our Instagram stuff. We're going to put more videos out in the coming days. Hopefully eventually we'll figure out this podcasting with Apple and Spotify, and we'll get us out on there as well. Any last notes from anybody?
Just that the Yankees are about to do nothing with the bases loaded and no outs.
Yeah, that's about par for the course, I guess, right? 0-2 on this guy, Roar Vet, whatever his name is. How about I'm just going to call him Bum. His bases loaded, no outs. We already got 1 out. It's 0-2 count to him. Wander, you got anything else?
No, that's it. Just thanks for your time, everyone, and we'll see you in the next cartoon.
Awesome. Everyone have a great week. I hope you enjoyed the show. We'll be back at you next week with some other good stuff. And live large. We'll see you soon.
Take care.